welcome everybody to another episode of Closer Encounters, the show where you, the listener, is also the guest. I am your host, Clarence Mitchell, coming to you live from somewhere in Minnesota. Closer Encounters is streaming live from Blog Talk Radio. We are also live on Facebook, YouTube, and Google Hangout. For all of our newest updates, check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Closer Encounters Radio. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. Would you like to be a special guest on Closer Encounters? Or do you know somebody that would like to be a special guest on Closer Encounters? Then just shoot us an email at closerencounters.info@gmail.com. That's closerencounters.info@gmail.com. Have you ever witnessed a UFO? Or seen something that you just cannot explain? Or maybe you've had your very own closer encounter. You believe in the ancient alien theory? We talk about this and much, much more. If you have a story, or maybe a question that you would like to get answered, give us a call. The number here is 347-989-1008. Again, the number 347-989-1008. Give us a call here at Closer Encounters. I'd love to talk to you. Well, hello everybody. And welcome to Closer Encounters Live. Tonight, going to be a little bit different, as I am not going to do the radio show on Blog Talk itself, so the introduction is a little bit misconstrued, but it's okay. The thing is we were having some problems, and I decided tonight just to do, a live feed instead, and I have it open here on Facebook, and figured that I can communicate with people back and forth through comments and whatnot, and hopefully it'll take off. We'll see what happens. So far, so good. Alrighty. So, if you have any comments or whatever, feel free to post them there. I'll see them. I'll be able to chat with you. I also have my Skype open tonight. Just look for Closer Encounters on Skype if you have Skype, and feel free to buzz in or whatever, and we can chit chat back and forth that way also. So either way, it's going to work out just fine. A little different, but that's okay. Had a few things I wanted to discuss with everybody tonight, and hopefully we're going to get a few more people in. So I'm just going to kind of stand by here and wait for folks to show up. And we'll see what happens here. So hopefully in the meantime, I'm going to open up my other computer here, and I'm going to punch in a few things here and see if I can't bring up a few things that I wanted to hopefully there are a few things I wanted to show you guys, and I think it's pretty interesting. A couple new theories that I kind of come up with. Well, maybe not so much theories, but anyway, you know, something that I think will be pretty interesting. You know, a few things for people, and so I'm hoping that you will follow me and tag along, and you know, it'll be pretty cool. So anyway, while we're at it, I wanted to also mention that there's a new documentary out, and I wanted to talk about that real quick. I'm going to I did post about it on our on the Closer Encounters page. I just mentioned it barely at the ending of our show last night, and I wanted to give it more credit. The person's name, he's also a member of the Ancient Alien group. His name is Darcy Weir, W-E-I-R, and him and a good friend of his and a couple others there made this documentary. It's called Beyond the Spectrum, and I actually got a chance to watch it, and it's on Amazon under the Amazon videos, and if you want to watch it and you're a Prime member through Amazon, it's absolutely free. Just click onto it and whatever, and you can watch it. It's almost an hour long, not quite an hour, almost an hour long, but it's very, very interesting, very informative, and I highly recommend it. And I've been talking with Darcy back and forth here on Facebook, and we get him and his buddy there together. I am going to have him on the show, and we're going to talk about this particular documentary that he made. But I highly recommend it. I even went to Google and I did a review on it and stuff, and you know, posted a couple comments there and stuff. So you know, if you're an Amazon person, get on there and check it out. Like I said, it's an excellent video. They bring it home. It's pretty cool. I really liked it a lot. So by all means, check it out. I did post it on Closer Encounters. It's also been posted on Ancient Aliens. It's in the Independent Research Society, and on the ufology religion page that I built way back when. So yeah, we've been putting it all over the place there. So like I said, if you get a chance, go to Amazon, check it out, and you'll really like it. I tell you, you don't want to miss it. It's really a good video. Not a video, it's a good documentary. So yes, by all means, check it out. Pass it around, tell your friends about it, whatever. But it's an excellent documentary. And hopefully we can get them together here in the next few days, and we can do a little discussion about it and talk about it. So that'll be pretty cool. So anyway, like I said, also another reminder, my Skype is open if you like to jump on there tonight. Just look for Closer Encounters on Skype, and add me as a friend or whatever, or send me a message. And I want to say hello to David. I see David just popped in. How you doing, buddy? We can talk live on there also. So we're doing good. But anyway, I had a few things that I wanted to talk about and bring up to you, which I think you might find interesting. I also wanted to mention too that we had a guest on last night, Omar Watchers from Watchers Talk Radio. We had a great time. Even after the show, we talked for over an hour, hour and a half. Excellent person to talk to, and I posted his website on the Closer Encounters page here. So please check that out and join in, and he is just so informative, a great guy to talk to, very helpful on everything. Any kind of questions you have, just like myself, just ask him, and he'll definitely respond to you. And if he doesn't know, he'll definitely find out where you can find out. He has all sorts of resources and stuff, and he's just on the ball. So, another excellent person to get a hold of. So by all means, please, join his website, check him out. That's Watchers Talk, www.watcherstalk.com, and like I said, it is posted there in the Closer Encounters page also. So by all means, please check it out. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. For the most part, anyway. I'm still getting over the festive part of it myself. So you know how that goes. Alrighty. Okay. So anyway, here's what I want to do. I wanted to go through and talk about a few things. Something I came up with back. We were talking about different ancient sites and different things like that, and I've been kind of doing some research on different places and stuff like that, and for the longest time I've been kind of trampling around with the symbols and different things like that, and something just kind of dawned on me while I was doing that, and I noticed in a lot of places, especially in the Southwest here in the USA and stuff, that you see the spirals that are carved in the rocks and the caves and different things like that. And I had a thing about them, because every time I went to a different site or whatever, you'd always see these depictions of these spirals, and they are all over the world, worldwide. Some of them date way back to the point of, well, let's just face it, it's beyond caveman time. I mean, it's like, wow, back in the Mayan days, the Inca days, things like that, the Hopi days, everybody seemed to have used this spiral in one form or another. So I got to looking at them, and I got to really doing some research about them and stuff, and I came up with a kind of a synopsis, a theory, have it what you call it. And I honestly believe that these spirals may be just like a call sign or a calling card, however you want to call it. And what I mean by that is I believe there may have been possibly 3, 4, 5, maybe even a half dozen different type of entities that have came here to Earth, whether they're doing DNA reconstruction or whatever their thing is, looking for gold, or you know, helping out one society or another, whatever it is they came here. But I believe that these spirals are kind of like I said, like a calling card. You know, when you would come across one of these spirals, you knew that this particular entity that this spiral belonged to is in the area, or it is part of their area, and it may be such thing as a warning sign telling the other entities, hey, this is my spot, don't monkey around here, you know, or whatever. Or it may be a welcome mat saying, welcome, come on in. I'm not really sure about that, but basically my point is, I think with all the different styles that you see all over the world, that they're connected to a certain entity, you know, of that particular area. And I'm going to show you some examples here. I booted up the computer and I got the image page brought up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this live feed up so you can actually see what I'm looking at. And then we're going to kind of click around and I'm going to show you some examples of what I'm talking about and see if you might agree with me, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to set this up real quick, so give me just a second here. I'm going to kind of set this up for everybody. And we're going to spin this thing around here just a little bit. Oh, while I'm at it, I'm going to show you. I got a new little apparatus for my studio. It came in the mail here the other day. Look at this. This is my this is my new moon. What do you think about that? Ain't that cool? Yeah, I'll give you a story about that a little bit later. But let's set this up here, and I'm going to try to get this situated so you can actually see what I'm looking at here. I hope everybody can hear me okay. But okay, what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to click on an image here, and let's start out. Yeah, let's start out with this one here. We're going to click on this image here, and I'm going to put it up on the bigger screen so you can actually see it here. And I'm going to give it just a second because I'm on a time delay. I'm actually watching this on a different computer here. So I'm going to give it just a second and make sure you can see what I'm seeing here. And I'm hoping. Okay, maybe I got to move in a little bit closer. So let's see what we got going here. Alrighty. Now, if you notice here on this particular spiral, I hope you guys can see this okay. But if you notice here, there's a spiral right here in the center. And it seems to be going in a counterclockwise rotation here. Now notice this image here on the front. You can see the eyes here and the nose, and it's got these long horns, so to speak, on top of its head here, okay? And then over here it's got like a hand print, so to speak, okay? I just want you to notice this. I want you to take note of this real quick here. And just kind of follow with me, and I want to show you a few things here. So this is one image, okay? Spiral with the horned style face. And of course we also have like a handprint there, like I said, there on the side. So let me go back here and okay. Now let's take you here to a different one. Once again, I'll show you this picture here. Give myself a second here, and we're going to let this boot up here, and hopefully you guys can see this okay. I want to make sure you're being able to see the whole thing. Okay, here we go. So notice here we have a spiral once again. Now this is a little bit different design. Now this one here, it's not really connected, but it does have spiral circles. And if you notice this particular entity, it looks more humanoid, also with the long antlers, or whatever you want to call them, antennae maybe. And look right above him up here. See this? This is another handprint. Okay? Now, this up here is kind of cool. This also looks like a handprint, but you only see like 4 fingers. And the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fingers. See that? Ain't that cool? Now, I've been noticing this a lot, especially around any place that you see spirals. You always seem to wind up with this style of an entity. Well, with particular spirals, let's put it that way. Not with every spiral. But there's the hand, and there is the horns and the spiral. Okay. So let me jump out of this. Now, what I'm really trying to get at here is in the Hopi legend, if you recall, they talked about their Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki in the Hopi legend is called Ant Friend. That's what the meaning is behind their depiction. And it seems to me that every time I see one of these spirals, it kind of has a depiction of an ant, if you notice what I'm saying. So I am wondering, and it's just my speculation, that it's very possible that these particular spirals that we look at here, you see here's another picture of a, doesn't really look like an ant, but it has antennae. It could be a snail or some kind, or even a snake maybe. I'm not really sure. But I'm getting to the conclusion that it's very possible that a lot of these spirals that I'm seeing has to do with the Anunnaki ant friends. And it's really, I'm not sure if this one shows it here, but I'm going to bring this one up. Hopefully you can see here. Now this has the double spiral in it. This one has one that goes counterclockwise, and then it also has one that goes counterclockwise. In here, instead of handprints, it's actually showing footprints. And I'm not so sure what this one here is. Now this may be some type of a moon or something that they're showing here. And here looks like a snake. So you get different depictions. Every time you see one of these spirals, you wind up with a different style animal of some type, and it seems like you always have some type of a print, whether it's a handprint or a footprint or something of that nature. Now what's really kind of crazy about these prints is, if you like 1, 2, 3, there's 4 toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one there has 5 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. You notice the big V here in the center, kind of crazy. So it makes you wonder what they're actually putting out there. But I have a feeling that a lot of these that you see, especially in the Southwest, have to do with the Anunnaki from the Hopi legends. Now, I wanted to bring this one up here. And And I don't pay any attention to this stuff here. This is all everybody else's depiction, and this is just my depiction. But here again is that similar type spiral that we've seen in the other picture. It's not actually a spiral, but it's got rings around it with different, insertions. And I wish they had a better picture of the other face of this. But here you'll see some type of a humanoid type entity there, and different other things, which I think is pretty cool. That one here you can't really see very much. Let's see here. Zoom in on this one here. There again is another spiral. Here you see a spiral here. This one is actually going clockwise with a little thing there on the end of it. Plus it also has a spiral without any connection. It's just the circles. Okay? But notice down here what we got. A footprint. And over here, look at this. Here is your entity. Now it's really hard to make out. Plus you have a couple other entities right here. Tall, very tall, with 3 toes on their feet, 3 fingers on their hands, you know. Down below here, if you can see, there's a smaller person down here on the bottom. And then, look at this, right here. If you can see this image, does that look like an ant to you? Look at that. Got the little antennae up here on top of the head, 2 eyes, a body, the legs. I honestly think I'm kind of onto something here, but I honestly believe that when you see this particular spiral, especially this one, you always seem to find this particular entity, which to me refers to the ant people of the Hopi tribe. You know, the Hopis. And you always wind up, it seems like, with a footprint or a handprint of something of that nature. So there's got to be some type of a connection here, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, and I just wanted to show this to you people, and I'm hoping that that I'm actually right about something here, you know. Okay, I'm going to give you another really good one here. This is one of my favorite ones right here. Now this one is pretty cool. This one's also found. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small. I was hoping I could zoom it up, but I guess not. But what it is, it's a spiral, and this one is actually going clockwise, as you can see. But at the very end of it, it goes up in the air, and lo and behold, look what we have up here. We have an actual, looks like an ant head with the mandibulas right there, and 2 long, really long antennae on top of its head. See that? With the big head and 2 mandibulas. Now, if that's not an ant, I will kiss your butt, okay? But that's what I'm saying. This is one of my favorite ones. Now, the significance between the circle going clockwise and counterclockwise, I haven't quite figured it out yet, other than the fact it may be the sign of them coming and going. So when you would see a spiral, say in the clockwise position, it may represent them being here at the present time. And then when you see one with a counterclockwise, that means that they left, or vice versa. It's really hard to say, but I'm just kind of semi-guessing here, you know, what I can do. Also, let me bring up this one here. Now, this is also a good one. This is also found in Florida. Now, look at this. See this spiral? Look at that spiral. Okay. Now, this is definitely part of the Indian tribe, whoever this character is. He's got the spiral here that's, you know, right here between them. Notice the way it's going in the direction. It is clockwise going around. And what do we have right here? Look at that. Another horned or antennae style creature. Same thing right here. And another one right here. And another one right here. So yeah, I'm really beginning to think that this is what this means. Now I'm only pertaining right now to the Hopi legend and the Anunnaki, the ant friend. This is all I'm talking about at the present time. Okay, now I'm going to give you some other things here too, but this is what I relate this particular spiral to, and nothing more. Okay, because like I said, there are different style spirals. Now this one here, we're going to change a little bit. I'm going to show you this particular spiral here. Let me bring it up. I just want to show you what it looks like. Now this one here looks like, 3 spirals put together. Okay. Quite an amazing design. But spirals nevertheless, however you want to look at them. This one here is kind of connected, and then this one here is off to the side, so to speak. But, you go into a counterclockwise position on this one. This one here is also counterclockwise, but then it goes into a clockwise motion, so it comes right back out and joins up and brings all 3 of them together. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this particular design is you find this particular design over towards Germany in that area. And let me see here if I can find the one that really I want to show you here. If you remember, or if you have heard about, there were, here's another one here. See how this design is? Now it's totally different than the ones we've been looking at, all right? But it's the same as this other one, okay? Counterclockwise and clockwise, but all 3 of them are together here. Now these are found, like I said, over towards Germany in that area. And what's really significant about this particular design pattern, to me, is the fact that they found it in an entranceway of one of the underground dwellings that they just discovered over in towards Germany there. Which I did post about it also. Let me see, I'm going to visit this page here real quick. Let's see if this one shows, if this is the actual place here. Nope, it's not gonna. Nope, it's not gonna bring me there. I was hoping it would show us where they found it. So I want you guys to see this. This is pretty cool. But the archaeologists and that, they have been finding all of these underground caves and dwellings and stuff, which we talked about last night on our show, and it's quite remarkable. I wanted to find. I was hoping. Now let's see here. I was hoping to. Okay, this one ain't it either. All right. Well, anyway, but it's actually used in the entranceway, like I said, of one of these cave dwellings that's been dug out, you know, and they've had, I don't know how many hundreds of people lived there at one time or another. Pretty amazing. I was just seeing one now. Here we go. Now this one here, remember I talked about, let me do this, visit. Now this one here is another spiral, but it has no connections. All right, no connections. But look at this humanoid with the long antennae. Okay, long antennae. But this isn't actually a spiral, even though it is, but it isn't. This is more of a universal style spiral. But every time you see one, it seems like, you know, this style or this, you know, type, you always wind up seeing this style person with the antlered thing on its head, which I often believe that has to do. Here's another depiction of the antlered deal. I honestly believe it has something to do with the Hopi legend and the ant people of the Anunnaki. I don't know if we can get a good enough view of this one. Very, very small. Gosh, I wish I could blow this up a little bit better for you. But right here's a spiral. Footprints, as you notice. It's got all kind of depiction of animals and stuff. There's a person here. A handprint way up here in the corner. Okay. Feet print. But here's the guy with the thing on his head, you know. All kind of different depictions here. But it always has these handprints and the footprints, a spiral, and what I call the ant friend or the ant person, whatever. It looks like a couple of depictions here of some animals, you know, different things like that. So it makes me wonder if this wasn't, you know, somewhere near their underground site. I bet you if they looked hard enough, they may just find the underground cave or the, you know, whatever, where these people resided, and this, you know, is giving you the story and stuff about it. So, but it's just a theory of mine that I'm trying to work on, and if anybody else has any suggestions and or, you know, whatever of that nature, you know, please let me know, you know, if you think I'm on the right track or I'm full of crap or whatever, you know. This is kind of cool too. I just wanted to show you that they are also, this is a Nazca, the monkey in Nazca. Look at that tail. See how that's used? Now remember, in Nazca and around that area is where the elongated skulls are found, which are totally different, and we'll be getting into that here a little bit too while we discuss it. But I thought it was pretty cool just to show you. But you know, that's over in Peru. See if I can give you another quick shot of it here. Here you go. All right, still a spiral, little different style of a spiral. It's not really a one line, you know, it's more of a fat line, however you want to call it. Depicting a monkey, you know, with a squirrely tail. Now, I'm not sure what they're actually trying to represent there, but that's, you know. But they definitely have a meaning, no doubt about that. And like I said, I often believe a lot of them are hooked up with certain entities. I think if you see like the 3 spiral here that belong to one certain style of entity, if you see a single spiral, it belonged to, you know, to a different another race, and so on and so forth. So that's where I'm coming from on here. Just my thought, and I thought I'd bring it out to you and see what you guys thought, because you just never know, you know. I just find it really fascinating how when you actually start looking and you start studying this stuff, that, you know, what you find alongside of it and what's being depicted next to them. And you can't leave that stuff out, you know. You got to put it all together, so to speak. So that's trying to see if there's something else here. Ah, here we go. Here's another good one. Notice the spiral. This one here is counterclockwise. And look what we have here. A hand. Another handprint. Okay. And I'm not sure where this one is actually taken at, but it's just an example. You know, it just seems funny to me that every time I spot one of these particular spirals, you know, they always have a handprint and or a depiction of the entity with the mammulas and, you know, stuff like that. Let's see here. This is such a small picture you can't really see it very well. Actually, the spiral is out of the shot on this one, but I just wanted to show you. Look at the feet print in here. You see the feet print, you see the hand print, paw prints, all kind of prints showing depiction of animals, all kind of stuff. And right here is another human. Now this here got cut off, but this is a big entity, and if you were to see the head of it, it would have that big mandibula on top of his head. And of course, then there's another different style spiral here with like the four, you know, like a cross in the center of it and whatever. But there is another spiral that's supposed to be in this picture, but for whatever reason they didn't show it here. But yeah, pretty cool. But there's something about this, and I'm thinking there is some type of a connection here, and that's just what I'm trying to prove, and, you know, what I'm saying here. That, let me show you this image here. Look at this. Right there's the antlered style head. I don't know. This is supposed to be, and I'm assuming by the way this looks, now I may be totally off base on this particular depiction here, but this actually looks like a spiral face with a bunch of things coming out of maybe a galaxy or something. You know, I'm not sure, but it's on the body or on top of a body. And the depiction is this, you know, in here it kind of looks like the sun rays or something with the body. You can't really make out this other one here. But look at this entity they got drawn out here. Tell me that doesn't look like an ant with the mandibula, you know, with the antennae and the big eyes and stuff, you know, and whatever. Just awesome, awesome stuff. I'm going to get out here one of these days, hopefully this coming year, this coming spring and summer. And now here's a good image here I want to show you. Notice here, look at this. Here's a spiral here. Not very big, but a spiral. This is counterclockwise. Now, look at this depiction. I want to show you this. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom you in a little bit closer here. And I wanted to show people this. I wish there was a better picture of it. I honestly think if you look at this here, some people say, okay, this is a guy, this is the arms and the head and the belly, and this here would be the legs, okay? Well, I don't honestly believe that. I'm looking at it at a different deal. I'm looking at this as being just chest high, where this part here is the actual arms. This big part here would be the head, and then this part here would be his antennae. Now, I may be totally wrong on this, but it's just the way I'm looking at it, okay? And of course, your spiral, your ant-headed looking person here. And over here, we have depiction of other people. This may be a shaman of some type or a medicine man. But notice also, well, you can't really see it that well in this picture here, but there is antennae right here on top of his head. We also have pictures of the swastika, so to speak, and they are going in both directions, different directions, right and left. You know, crazy stuff. That may have been added later on. It's hard to say. As you can see, there's some graffiti written on top of these stones and stuff. So I don't know without being there myself what is old and what is new. But you definitely know the older ones because of the coloring in some of them. But this spiral and this particular entity definitely have been there a very long time. Along with the... Now this may be river or mountains of some sort, or, you know, who knows for sure. But you notice there's an animal there with another person. And then there looks like a dog up here. But it's hard to say. But this is the part that I'm really interested in here, is the spiral, which what I interpret to be an ant-headed person. I may be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. So I don't know. Like I said, you know, give it some thought. Let me know what you guys think. You know, am I way off base, or, you know, yeah. Pretty cool photo there. But different styles, and they're all over the world. They're not just here in the U.S. They are depicted everywhere. And you get doubles, you get triples, you get squared ones. You know, spirals definitely have a meaning of some type. And I honestly believe that some of these were used as calling cards and or warning signs or something of that nature. But it's just really remarkable to me how when you see these style, especially this style, that you normally somewhere close by in the area, you're going to find depictions of hands and feet print, and of course the antennae style figure, for whatever reason. And I seriously believe that it's all connected. That the spiral and this particular, what I call ant, has some type of a connection. So there you go. Okay. So I'm going to slide you guys back up here for a quick second. And we'll talk about a few other things while we're at it. David says might be the signature artist of the creator. Well, that's very possible, and I actually thought about that. But the only thing that I have a problem with about that is it's found all over the place. So unless everybody is doing the same kind of thing, you know, with a handprint or whatever, I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, why the feet print? You know, it's really hard to say. But some of the handprints, like if you notice, they're only like 4-fingered, not 5. Same thing with a feet print. You find 3-toed, 4-toed. So I mean, you know, anybody's guess, I guess. But to me, what's ironic, like I said, you know, my main point is the fact that every time you see that particular spiral, this is what you find next to them or around them somewhere in that area. And I honestly think that there is a connection as far as the Hopi go with the Anunnaki ant friend that they were dealing with back in the day. Because a lot of these particular spirals are only found, you know, in the southwest part of the United States and stuff, where the other ones are found over in Europe and Asia and different places like that. So that's what made me conclude that these particular different styles belonged to other entities. You know, that was their calling card. So it's just something I'm throwing together here, and you know, like I said, I may be way off base, but that's just my synopsis, and who knows, you know. So okay, I got a message here from Omar. Now let's see here. He says he's got Neo Guru for December 1st Eastern Time Disclosure Conference. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Good deal. Hello, Pamela Steve. How are you? Glad you could join us. Yeah, fascinating could be possible. I don't know. Like I said, I may be off base on that. But it's just something I've been kind of throwing together because it's like, I don't know, I see things like that and it kind of slaps me in the face. And so, you know, I mean, there's times that it just keeps me awake at night, literally. So I want to check things out, and I go through and I do some research on them. And it's just, I know there's got to be, you know, some type of real meaning to these. I mean, otherwise, why would they even use them, you know, to begin? Why the spiral? Why not just an X or a square or, you know, a Z or, you know? So, yeah, definitely. Excuse me. Not to mention the fact that as you go along and you see a lot of these other sites with other different style spirals, a lot of them get pretty creative. You know, they'll put other designs inside of them and stuff like that, which makes me believe, that's why I say I think that they may be some type of a calling card saying, you know, this is, let's say, the Greys, or this is reptilian area, or this is tall white area, or whatever the case may be. But the spiral would be a universal signature, so to speak, copywritten by, you know, whatever entity is using it, you know. So it's just a synopsis. I may be way off base, but just something I thought I'd throw out there. Okay. Alrighty, now something else I wanted to bring up. Let's see if I can get this booted up like I want to here. Alright, I'm going to try to alright. Something that's been brought up a few times and it's been widely talked about here lately, especially in the Ancient Alien community and on the Ancient Alien pages. Wow, I'm losing my voice already. Can you believe this? This is crazy. A good friend of mine and part of the group, Bruce Fenton, has been writing about, you know, the human evolution and stuff, and how we weren't evolved out of Africa. You know, we didn't evolve in Africa and then come out of Africa. We actually evolved other places and came into Africa, which I totally agree. And David said the answers are probably so simple we never, you know, we wonder why we never thought of it before. And that's very true. You know, sometimes it is the simplest stuff in the world. Absolutely. But anyway, getting back to the evolution of man, there was an episode which I did post on the Closer Encounters page, and I think I also put it in the Ancient Alien page. You guys can check it out. Where the Ancient Alien Giorgio and another guy, he did some DNA testing on an elongated skull, and you know, come up with some crazy stuff about it not having the Y chromosome, you know, or whatever, showing the father. It would show the mother, but it wouldn't show the father's DNA, you know, and stuff like that. Of course, there was no sutures in the skull, different things like that. But anyway, during this particular show, it also talked about how it appeared to a lot of people that different species of man, you say like Homo erectus was placed over here, the Denisovians were placed over here, so on and so forth. Neanderthals were down in Central Europe, let's say, you know, and they have a belief system that you know, there was different alien entities that kept us all apart, you know, whether it be Neanderthal or Homo sapiens or whatever, Denisovans, and we were kept apart because of land obstruction, you know, mountains or, you know, oceans or whatever, and so that would be their particular area of birth and, you know, construction, let's say, until later on when they actually started roaming, you know, across the world, and they got together and mated and, you know, interbred. But the main thing is they tried to keep us separated for whatever reason, and mainly I think to stop interbreeding. They didn't want Homo sapiens mixing with Neanderthals, but it happened anyway, which I believe is why, when you read the writings, the scriptures or whatever, is why there was such you know, catastrophe of wiping, you know, everything and everybody out, and they started over again. This may have happened many, many times. Okay, it's a true belief that, you know, the earth has been redone, depending on how you look at it and what you want to believe. Everything's still pretty much up in the air. There's no set thing about it yet. But anyway, trying to get back to my point, what I was trying to say. So when you get down to the nitty-gritty, and let's say this is kind of a true thing where man was separated across the globe because of high mountains and rivers and whatever that man couldn't travel about, and, you know, and they kind of, you know, were all over, they were scattered all over the place and brought up by different entities, whether it be Anunnaki or the Greys or reptilian or tall whites or whatever, you know, they each had their own little places on the world, and that's where they did their things, which would explain a lot, like we talked about last night, the different style pyramids that we have, even though they were all pyramids, but they're scattered throughout the world, but they were different styled. Quite possibly that, you know, each entity had their own style of pyramid construction, so have you, so on and so forth. So, you know, the progress of man with their helpers, the entities alongside of them, you know, different writing skills, different language skills. You know, you hear me talk about the Dambu Valley people, which are much, much older than the actual Mesopotamian people. So, you know, when you hear people say that the Mesopotamian text and that, like Zachariah Sitchin, says that it's the oldest in the world, it's not, okay? It's actually been found at the Dambu Valley people, and nobody knows where these people come from. They think they come out of Greece, but they have the actual oldest writing. They also did copper smelting. They were farmers, and there was tens of thousands of them that scattered throughout, what they called Old Europe, around the Danbu Valley. Then, for whatever reason, they up and disappeared. Go figure. But they were so far advanced. They invented the wheel. They had other symbols such as the swastika, the yin yin yang symbol, things like that. I'll put another post up about it and stuff. I've posted a few other times about it before, but I'll post that up about the Danbu Valley and Old Europe. Pretty interesting thing about that, But my thing is, there's been a lot of talk about the R negative blood type in people. And you'll hear say that, like in the Ancient Alien Theorist, when you see that particular episode, it's commented about how there's only 15% of humans that carry this particular Rh negative blood. So it's been kind of my synopsis, my theory, that what had happened was because they've done everything possible. When I say they, I'm talking about the ET or whoever, the entity, the creators, did everything possible to try to stop man and other entities, prototypes interbreeding, that they came up with this Rh negative blood type to stop the interbreeding. I know it kind of sounds far-fetched, but that's what, how I come up with it. If you actually look into the Rh negative blood type that come from people, most of them, there's a good group of them that I think it's in the Himalayas is where they're actually from now, and they can live in really high altitudes. Their pulse and their heart rates are really slow compared to normal people. It's also been noted that a lot of people with Rh negative blood, they have extra vertebrae in their backs. There's all kind of different things that go on with Rh negative blood types. And so the main thing, of course, is that women that have it and whatever and produce children with a B positive or a B positive, a R positive style, have a pretty good chance of losing the child because of it, because the bloods, the chromosomes and stuff just don't mix, and women have a hard time without the help of medical things. A lot of them will lose their child because of it. It makes you wonder, before we actually found out about Rh negative, how many babies back in the day were lost because of this fact, and nobody really knew the reason, which very well could be the reason. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up and kind of shoot that out there for you and see what your thoughts were about it. But I honestly believe that the Rh negative blood was introduced as a form of intervention, to stop Homo erectus and maybe Denisovans or whoever, to stop the interbreeding. And I think that was kind of a last resort thing, because that's actually something that is still carried on to this day by certain individuals. So that's what I believe it was all about. So any thoughts and questions on that, feel free to shoot them by me or whatever. But just some things, like I said, that's why I wanted to come on tonight and just talk about a couple of things that I've been working with, and my input and whatever. So, but the spirals was the big thing that I really wanted to bring up, and of course, a little bit about man's evolution. I think what they're going to find out here, and it won't be long in coming, and they keep digging and stuff, and they're finding all these underground places that people lived and stuff, and I think they're going to start finding more and more fossilized skeletals and stuff like that. especially with like the elongated skulls and things that Brian Forster has been coming up with and different things. I think they're going to find out that man goes way back further than we could ever possibly imagine. Carbon dating is going to have to change. A lot of things are going to have to change, no doubt about it. So, but just keep those little things in mind, set them back, in your file, in your brain, and, see what you think. Do a little research, see what you come up with. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, or if I'm onto something there. But that's my synopsis about the Rh negative blood and why man evolved the way they did. And like I said, and if you haven't read the book by Bruce Fenton, please do. He's got a second one coming out now. But it's the Into Africa theory, Into Africa by Bruce Fenton. You can find that on Amazon also. It's quite a good read. And, the more and more you look at different things and stuff like that, the more and more comes out. And it's pretty interesting. But like I said, the Dambu Valley, one of my favorite all-time things that I research on, old Europe. And you don't hear about it. Nobody really talks about this much. You can Google it, you can research it. Just look up Old Europe or Dambu Valley. And like I said, I did post some videos about it. I'll repost them so you guys can watch them. Matter of fact, maybe tomorrow or something, I'll do a live stream during the daytime, and I'll actually will run those videos on the live stream so everybody can see them. Why not? I think it'd be fun. Maybe I'll do that in the Ancient Alien group page instead of on Closer Encounters. We'll figure it out. I'll make a big event on it and send it out so everybody can see, and we'll come up with something. I think it'd be awesome. But I want you guys to see this, though, and understand, what I'm talking about, what's going on there. But, Mesopotamia is not the oldest anymore, okay? And the funny thing is, though, and the sad thing about it is these scientists and archaeologists and whatever will not get together on certain things like this because they're so afraid. It's like taboo, and if they go against one another or whatever, they lose their money or whatever, and it's just a sad thing, So we got to kind of do our own style research and come up with what we come up with, and hopefully sooner or later it all comes out in the wash. But all this hype about man coming out of Africa and stuff, no, don't. No, they're way off on that now. And it's starting to come out more and more. And big changes coming ahead. They're going to have to rewrite the books, no doubt about it. And I think it's pretty interesting. But that's where I think the Rh negative bloodline come from. I think it was introduced on purpose. And the only purpose that it was made for was to stop interbreeding, and that's what I believe it was there for. So the only problem is they never took it back. It's still out there, and people have to deal with it now, which is a sad kind of thing. But we know how to deal with it, which is a good thing. So hopefully, But who knows what else we're going to find out, Some other things I wanted to bring up real quick while we're at it. Out-of-place artifacts. I want to get more and more in on that, and which we will here in the near future. There's some really interesting stuff that's been coming up. They've been digging up and stuff like that, and there's just no reason whatsoever for these things to be where they are. Remarkable things. You probably remember the hammer that they found, and different other things. I like to, do a show and another study on that for you, and different things. I am also trying to work on a new website. I've been kind of reluctant about it because I've been so busy doing other things that I just sometimes I just don't have the time to work on all of this stuff I got going on, and it takes me away from other things. So, but I'm gonna try to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Maybe once I get a website built and get it up, I can put all of this stuff just on one place, and then I won't have that hassle anymore. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see what goes on. But anyway, here we are, almost an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to kind of cut this a little short tonight. I want to thank everybody that's been there, Dave and Pamela. You guys, great seeing you. I will be on radio tomorrow night. I'll give you an update on that. I will do a live radio feed tomorrow night on Blog Talk. I had some glitches to work out today. I went and got some new wiring. I had to hardwire some more stuff in. Whatever. It's just been a pain in the butt. So today I just figured, you know what, I'm not even going to bother with it. We'll just go live on Facebook and whatever. So that's what we did. So anyway, please, when this is over with, if you would, do me a big favor and pass this along to other people. Share it, post it wherever, so people can watch it and archive it, and do whatever. Maybe they'll get a little insight on what's happening, different things like that. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. And my YouTube channel, I did post a thing on that. I haven't talked about it much, but all it is basically is all of our shows that we've ever done is on there. So if you want to check out the YouTube, it's the live feed, and you can watch that also. Please like, share, subscribe. Every time we post one, you'll get the info on it or whatever. So, but you can hear my voice. I'm getting raspy. So anyway, we're going to be back here tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. And I want everybody please to join us. Look me up on Skype. Look me up on Twitter. Just look for the name Closer Encounters. That's plural. And please, share it with your friends. Tell your friends about it. You think anybody's interested, or whatever. I would like to get more people to call in on the show. If you know anybody that would like to be a guest, or somebody I need to check into to be a guest, by all means, please let me know. Send me a message. Put it on the Closer Encounters page here on Facebook. I'm out looking for people. Any ideas whatsoever, by all means, please send them along. I would love to have it. Okay. Anything that you are interested in, or you need to look into a little further, whether it be, like the spiral thing or whatever, give me a heads up. By all means, I'll gather up a team or whatever. I'll do it on my own, and we'll dig into it, and we'll research it together, and we'll see what we come up with. Give me some ideas on what you want to see and do. And we can do that. We'll do it. So good things are coming. We're going to be here for a very long time, and I hope it helps you, and as much as you guys help me. So thank you all very much. In the meantime, please enjoy the rest of the evening, and I think what I'm going to do here, I think I'm just going to slide on out of here. So, like I said, thank you all very much for joining me, and we'll be back here tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out Bill Peters, his new Slice videos that he has coming out. They're also on YouTube. We've been posting them all over the place also, called The Slice. Very informative. He's doing right now alien abduction cases. Doing live interviews with people, and which I think I'm going to be one of them, I hope. We'll see. But yeah, check it out. He's got some pretty good stuff going on there. Really cool. Again, watcherstalk.com, www.watcherstalk.com. Please check that out. Independent Research Society, and of course the Ancient Alien group page. plenty of information. A lot of great people, a lot of great groups out there. And I want to thank you once again for being here, and you know, just fantastic having you. So, in the meantime, keep your eyes to the skies and stay warm, and thank you all very, very much. Thank you all for listening to Closer Encounters. Please remember to like, follow, and share. And until we meet again, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you. Thank you all.